I genuinely believe that any opinion that you have isn't actually yours. And the fun thing about saying a statement like that is you cannot disprove me, and I can't really prove you because everything I'm going to say is based purely off what I believe, which again are things that I don't actually believe because they're other people's opinions. Let's go back to the start. Where do you first get these opinions from? The first opinions that you ever gain are probably from your family, your close family, from the first couple of years of life, where you were taught things about how things should be done. Let's say, for example, you were taught how to use your cutlery. You were taught how you should eat. You were taught if you should pray or you shouldn't pray before a meal. You're taught all these little things which you believe to be right and you believe to be wrong. Because why would you object to your parents? They are the people that brought you into this world. There is no reason for you to object to anything they're saying, even if that thing could be completely wrong. Let's say your parents were raised by alpacas. They are going to believe that walking on all fours is a normal thing to do, when in reality, we know that the human body is much, much better at walking on 2 feet. So you see these things you wouldn't even think to object against or even think about are just things that you've just done naturally your entire life. Onwards from there, you go into the school system, which has not changed in a long, long time, which I could talk a lot on. But you were taught to learn this information that we just trust is from a credible source. And although a lot of the things that we are taught have been proved, we can also say that a lot of things in the past, a lot of scientific literature in the past, that was proved to be correct. As new technology comes out, we are able to disprove those things. But when it comes to the school system, it has been around for a very long time and it is yet to change. So it makes you wonder, why has it not changed in terms of the general curriculum that we learn, to the general setting of how the classrooms are laid out and how the days are structured around learning and how we are told to sit down for extremely long periods of time when we are arguably the most energetic in our entire lives. But we're told, no, you will sit down and you will shut up. So from a young, young age, you are told to not do anything that goes against the authority figure in the room, which is oftentimes the teacher. If the teacher says something and you disagree, you are told that you are wrong. And you are told to not object, which creates the perfect person to sit down in a work environment and to not object. We are also taught things that just get taught by proximity with our teachers. I think it's very undervalued how important the teacher that you have is in your development, because it doesn't matter how much they try and hide or mask their true thoughts and feelings. At the end of the day, they are human. Those things seep through. If you had a teacher who was a crazy neo-Nazi, even if they explicitly didn't say anything about that during the day, there would be subtle things that as humans with very malleable brains as children, we'd pick up on. And that could change the way that we see the entire world. The way I view it is by the time that you leave education, whether that's when you leave school or when you leave university, higher education, the longer you're in that system, the more information you program, which is going to be beneficial or not beneficial. It doesn't matter either way. You've been programmed or you've been downloaded a certain set of information that you didn't choose to necessarily have, because you may have chosen to do a certain degree, but you didn't choose to learn everything about whatever your peers were discussing. So, as we go through life and we recycle similar conversations with different human beings, we have to wonder, what things or opinions are we collecting from these interactions that we're having. It could be so subtle that someone says something so subtly, but you look up to them with a little bit of admiration, that you take their opinion without questioning it. Because when you look back on your days in school, you were taught to not object to information that you were being told. This has been my TED Talk. Hopefully, this has been valuable. Have a fantastic day.